Alright, first off, at number 10, we've got Mass Effect. Mass Effect is a really good game, and I would say probably BioWare's best effort in their recent group of games, that including Knights of the Old Republic and Jade Empire. Out of those, I think I can safely say this is the best. It's got a really great story, incredible graphics, good music, some good, memorable characters, a decent combat system, not the best by any means, but not too bad. I guess my largest complaint with this game is just the really big number of generic, boring side missions that really all boil down to go to generic planet, kill generic aliens, rinse, repeat, like 1,000 times. And I mean, sure, it's good for getting loot, stuff like that, but I mean, really, they get old after a while. They don't really add anything to the experience. And all the planets are basically exactly the same, just with a new texture. So that's kind of a strike against this. But even having said that, this is still a really good game. If they had focused on a smaller number of side missions and just made them a little more diverse, I think it would have been a better design move. But, maybe they'll fix that in the next game. I would say, however, that any fan of RPGs really should play this game, if nothing else than just for the story itself. Alright, coming in at number 9, we got Skies of Arcadia. A lot of you guys probably haven't played this game, as it only came out on the Dreamcast and the GameCube. I have it on the Dreamcast, but I'm told that the GameCube version has some improvements. But even on the Dreamcast version, this game is really awesome. It's got a pretty good story, got some really interesting characters, cool combat system. I don't have time to really explain sort of the little nuances to it, but it's different enough. I really like the overall visual design to this game. It's got a really cartoony look, which generally I shy away from, but it works pretty well for the general feel of this game. Generally, my main thing about this game is just that it's a lot of fun to play. It has a really classic RPG feel to it. Nothing really revolutionary here, but in some instances that's okay, and I think this is one of them. The environments in this game are all really great. They're really diverse. The dungeons are really fun with a nice mix of puzzles. Basically, all the things that you generally associate with a good RPG, I say this game has going for it. It's got some cool things like ship battles, which are pretty unique, and later on in the game it's got some kind of castle building elements similar to something like Suikoden, though not quite as in-depth as that, but still a nice addition. So if you like just kind of fun, light RPGs, I would really encourage checking this one out. It's a really good one. Okay, this one's probably going to catch me some heat from some people, but coming in at number 8 is Final Fantasy XII. I know some people really didn't like this game. I know some people really did. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. I do not consider myself a Squaresoft fanboy by any means. In fact, I think the company pretty much went downhill ever since Final Fantasy VIII. But I found Final Fantasy XII to be a really nice surprise. It's got a really good story. It's more of a mature story than a lot of the earlier Final Fantasy games. I don't mean, it's got lots of sex and drugs. I don't mean like that. I just mean that, political intrigue, that type of thing, a little deeper than simply, save the world. But having said all that, I really like this game a lot. the battle system was unusual, I guess to say the least, just because it was such a change from everything prior. But honestly, I thought I thought that was a pretty welcome change, because in more recent days, I've just found myself growing increasingly tired of turn-based Japanese RPGs. It just gets so old when you play something like Rogue Galaxy, which actually isn't even on this list, but is also a good game that you probably should check out. Rogue Galaxy, when I played that, I was like, wow, you know, where has this been forever? I mean, I've been playing these turn-based games where battles take for freaking ever, and it feels so slow compared to newer innovations. And I would say, honestly, in my opinion, most of the use of it in the old days was simply because they didn't have a way to do anything else other than, I mean, you have stuff like Secret of Mana, which changed things up, but I don't think that the use of the turn-based systems in, you know, ye old RPGs was necessarily because, you know, they were really stuck on it. They just thought it was the best thing ever. I think it's just because, you know, technology was somewhat limiting. I think that if they had had the tools to do more, that they probably would have. So that's why I've just kind of gotten over it. I'd like to see more things moving in the direction of Rogue Galaxy or Final Fantasy XII. But I don't know. Some people didn't like the battle system. Some people did. Personally, I liked it. So I would say good battle system, good music, tons of side missions, all of which were, you know, pretty diverse. At least a hell of a lot more diverse than Mass Effect's. Just tons of content here. I mean, I've got like, I don't know, like 150 hours on my game, and I know I haven't done everything there is to do in the game. So, yeah, I mean, graphics are good. Basically everything about it, I mean, is good. I would say much better than some crap like Final Fantasy VIII. And, you know, there are some problems. Stuff like really weird character designs, which seems to be pretty standard these days. I don't know what the deal is with Square these days, but damn, they cannot get character designs looking decent for crap. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's like you just have to put this random crap all over everything that just like, oh, look, oh, we'll just put this random arm plate on here that looks totally out of place, but oh, it's cool. No, it looks stupid. I mean, it could be worse. This is not as bad as, say, some of the designs in freaking Final Fantasy X, which, oh my god, don't even get me started on that. Those are pretty damn awful. These aren't that bad, but they're not really great either. But if that type of thing bothers you, then you'll probably be bothered just by looking at Vaughn for more than 10 seconds. But yeah, even so, I mean, it was a good game, and I would recommend, if you like Japanese RPGs at all, then you probably should check this one out. If nothing else, then for the story and really high production values.